Marian Mereba is a songwriter, singer, instrumentalist, forever student, fan of traveling the world. Room for Living is kind of like a pretty simple concept. I recorded the entire project in my living room, so I called it Room for Living for that reason. And also, like, this past year is my first year like out of college, living life on my own and like experiencing things on my own, so Room for Living just felt right. It just felt like it fit in a lot of ways. The first time I picked up a guitar was when I was 15. I had like expressed a little interest in it, and I got like a super cheap one for Christmas after basically like my best friend, my childhood best friend from Philly, she and I used to like write songs together growing up. We were like a little songwriting team when we were like 10, 11, and we kind of always just like slightly competed with each other, and she picked up the guitar, and I had moved to North Carolina. I was on the phone with her and I heard her like plucking at the guitar. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I can play the guitar now. And I was like, oh hell no. So I picked up the guitar, and since then she's definitely put it down, but that's how it started, and then it went from there basically. Ready? Mm-hmm.
Last we spoke, cut off calls, letters we never wrote. They say don't believe in anything you cannot see, but they never seem to get things right. And if I never loved you, my heart would beat in the same old sound. If I never somewhere I'd love to be, baby. Overseas with my king, fly over clouds, somewhere I would love to be free. Overseas, why can't we fly over clouds, somewhere I would love to be, yeah. Overseas, why can't we? Far beyond the sea.
My first love was actually, like, my first like deep love was when I went to live in Ethiopia. And yeah, my cousin's best friend and he was, you know, he's Ethiopian, like his English was kind of like rocky, and like I was in a new place for the first time. That's the first time I ever went there, the only time I've ever been there. And it was just real, like, it was real dramatic. It was real like dirty dancing, like but yeah, like that relationship actually still has inspired some songs like overseas on my project. It was very like idealistic, but it was something that I think we both knew wasn't really gonna last, but it was a good first love, definitely. I would define my personal style like, I don't know, like I think my personal style is just kind of a bridge between a lot of worlds, just because of like, you know, how I've been raised. Like, I would say kind of Afropolitan, like, you know, I have a lot of influences from like being Ethiopian and like being around that my whole life. Then like just like very, I don't know how to really describe it, just like low maintenance. Like I'm definitely like a kind of rough and tumble sort of girl. Like, so like in terms of my personal style, like how I dress and like how I present myself, it's usually like super natural mixed with like super fly. I don't know, like fly, like I don't know, just like only shit that I would wear, I guess. Like, you know, I like a lot of colorful shit. I like a lot of like old worn stuff, you know. And then I think like with my music, it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm influenced by Africa and like all of that, you know, like just the culture and the vibrancy of like of Africa. And then I'm really inspired by like the really simple things, like the really folk, simple like ideas, like nature and shit. So yeah, my favorite season to make music is definitely autumn. I don't know, it's just like the way it looks outside, and like it's kind of like overcast a lot. All the colors are like changing. Like my favorite colors are autumn colors, so I'm always really inspired in the fall. Yeah. In the past 5 years, I feel like I've definitely grown as definitely a performer. Performing, I've always liked to perform. I've always been kind of like, you know, a ham a little bit, but I think like just going through the like circuits of performing in the different places I've lived in the past 5 years, like my confidence has grown. And then like as a writer, I mean, writing is really about what you experience in life, so I clearly have experienced a lot more now like than I had 5 years ago. Like my songs were really emo 5 years ago, like super emo. My family was always like, why are your songs so depressing? And I think I kind of learned how to write about like joyful things more. And I think that just comes with growing and like realizing that things aren't really so bad. So